Hey, what's up, guys and girls? Just heard Spike Lee. He likes to make comedy movies and satires and whatnot. Heard he wants. He's a black guy. Heard he wants to tear down Confederate statues and stuff. Which have been classified under the law as veterans. Just saying. A long time ago, and that tearing down the statues or of historical monuments and whatnot it's illegal, uh, especially tearing down statues of military veterans, which all Confederates were made veterans. So, and knocking down the statues are illegal because of that. And historically, also, it's destruction of private property, blah, 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 public property, blah, 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 vandalism, blah, blah, blah. It's all kinds of laws that you're breaking when you tear up or harm statues, whether they're black people statues, Confederate statues, war monument statues. It doesn't matter. There's all kinds of lists of rules and laws. But anyway, that's beside the point. Spike Lee is a hypocrite by saying stuff like that because those statues that he wants torn down, he used them in this movie. I mean, this is a movie that Spike Lee made. It's a satire of what he thinks and what some other black people think would have happened if the Confederate States of America won the Civil War. Honestly, this is a good movie. It's not entirely accurate, but what do you expect when a black person makes the movie about the South? But he's a hypocrite because he used the Confederate flag here in this movie, on this images. He used uh, he used some commercials that were actual and products that were actual real products that existed in the day in this movie, uh, that were kind of make fun of sort of black people, sort of. He made fun of black people in this movie. He made fun of white people in this movie. He literally uses the Confederate flag all throughout this movie. He has Confederate flag on the moon there. He has Confederate flag at Iwo Jima. There's all kinds of imagery in this movie where he's using the Confederate flag and using Confederate statues and whatnot to make his movie. So Spike Lee is a hypocrite because of this movie. He's made a lot of money off of this movie. All the money he made off this movie should be returned and reimbursed back to the people who bought this movie. All because he's a hypocrite. Because he's now made millions of dollars off this movie. And now he's talking about the Confederacy was evil. Yet you made a movie that made you millions of dollars off of it. The Confederacy was bad. Confederate statues need to come down. Yet you made millions of dollars filming them. The Confederate flag is bad. Yet you made millions of dollars filming them and putting them, literally in this case, on the White House, photoshopping them into images like replacing the American flag. I know you did it for artistic license, parody. This movie's actually done in a documentary style too, which is pretty cool. This movie's done in a documentary style, and it's done pretty good. I'm not going to say the movie is bad. This movie's actually done pretty good. I actually like it. But Spike Lee owes me money for watching his movie and buying his movie because he's a hypocrite. That's why. He's talking about removal of the Confederate flag. He's talking about removal of Confederate statues and all that. Yet, he made a movie about what would happen if the Confederate States of America won. He made a movie about it. Him making a movie about it is hypocrisy. He's now being a hypocrite because he's going to try to take the same money he made from. He's not. He's not. I didn't hear anything about him donating the money he made from this movie to Black Lives Matter. I didn't see anything about him donating the money he made off of this movie for legislation. He's just tear the fucking Confederate statues down. That's basically what he said. Look, don't be a hypocrite. Liberals, quit being hypocrites. I hope all you liberals out there, liberals, I hope some of y'all hashtag walk away from the Democrat Party because honestly, Democrats are the ones who started the Civil War, started the Confederacy, and oh, look at this image. Look at what the DVD is. The DVD is a Confederate flag. Confederate flags are all over this movie. He's a hypocrite. I can make money off the Confederate flag, but now that it's and Confederate statues, but now that it's the politically correct thing to do now is be against the Confederacy and all that because of Black Lives Matter and all that. Well, let me just tell you something. Black lives matter. All lives matter. Jesus died for all lives. But the first slave owner, the very first slave owner in the United States was a black man. Slaves came because the British bought them from African tribal warlords. African tribal warrior lords who imprisoned their own people, their own races, and created slaves. Their own people. The British couldn't sell them in England because they had already had their own system of slavery, indentured servitude of white people, and serfdom. So the slave traders did what? Sold them into the New World. What part of the New World got hit first? The colonies. What would have been considered the North. So the North had slaves way before the Civil War even broke out. And way before the Civil War, which was about states' rights, by the way. And taxation, by the way. Not slavery. Slavery was a side issue. Just like there's like 20-something plus different grievances that are in the Declaration of Independence against Britain, yet they only ever want to talk about taxation and without representation and mostly that. And that's mostly what we get out of the Independence Day, which is coming up. Happy 4th of July early for you people, guys and girls. Now, like I said, Spike Lee, hypocrite. For every one of these movies that was sold, bought, that you made money off of Spike Lee, you need to donate that money to persevere to charity. I challenge you, Spike Lee, I challenge you viewers to share this everywhere. And I challenge you, Spike Lee, to admit you made this movie and that you're a hypocrite and for making this movie and making money off this movie, and that all the money you made off this movie need to be going to Southern history museums and organizations. All of it. Doesn't need to go to Black Lives Matter because true equality would be Confederate Lives Matter too. Confederate History Month along with a Black History Month. True equality would be you are allowed to have your flags and your histories and you teach the real history and real truth, while Confederates, Southerners are allowed to have their flags and their histories, and they teach their real histories and truths that everybody used to know and used to be taught in schools, but now not so much because of the liberal indoctrinations. Hashtag walk away from the hypocritical Democrat Party people. They're hypocrites. Celebrities are hypocrites. Do not listen to and believe the bullshit that they say. It's just the downright hypocrisy of them. Spike Lee, you're a hypocrite, and I'm calling you out on it. Liberals, you're hypocrites, and I'm calling you out on it. Black people, you're hypocrites because the number one killer of black people is other black people. Black people created the slave trade. Muslims created the slave trade. Muslims have never liked black people. They're using you. Muslims do not like liberals. They're using you. The Democrat Party does not really like the black man. The Democratic Party has always been a party of racism and always been the anti-black party. They're using you for your votes. They think throwing money at problems and at you black people will get you to vote for them. Walk away, get jobs, fix your own communities, create economical systems in your own communities, buy from black-owned businesses, support black-owned businesses. If you really want your race to do better for yourselves, you will help your own race with your own money. You know what race does it the best? Jews. The Jews, they have a system where over 9 out of every 10 or more dollars a Jew spends goes back into the Jew community. Mexicans do a pretty good job of it too. What they do, Mexicans own restaurants, own bars, own stuff. When they work and when they go shopping, they shop at a Mexican supermarket. They eat out at Mexican restaurants. White people don't do some good at it, but then again, white people kind of own most of the corporations out there, so we kind of do, but we're only giving the poor white people are only making the rich white people richer. That's true. Hispanic, the Asian community does a pretty good job of it. They own restaurants, own businesses, and they then shop and eat at out at the restaurants, you know. So if black people really wanted to help themselves, they would own black businesses, own black restaurants, own black grocery stores, own black this, own black that, and they would hire black people, and they would. Matter of fact, Malcolm X, he believed in this system here. Even the Muslims for our community is kind of doing the same thing. What you got to do to have economic power is your race has to own businesses, hire your race, and shop and eat out and shop at your race's stores. The money that comes into your hand has to go back out to other people of your race's money. To better your community, you have to make all your money stay in your community. Even though you work, you're getting paid. You work for your race. You buy from your race. You sell to your race, etc. You can sell to other races. You can work from other races, but most of your money needs to go back into the black community. if you want income equality. Just doing a little shut up. Remember, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Keep on gaming, like, comment, subscribe, share. And Spike Lee, calling you out on your hypocrisy. Calling you out. I would love for you to get on my channel. You're a hypocrite. Spike Lee, you're a hypocrite. I challenge you, Spike Lee, you're a hypocrite. I challenge you. I challenge you, Spike Lee. All the money you made off this movie. All the money. I want you to win the challenge, is the demanding challenge for you, Mr. Spike Lee, if this ever gets around to you, is all the money you made off this movie needs to be donated. It needs to be returned to the buyers of the movie or donated to Southern history research, truths, researchers. And since you've invested the money and made more, all that money, because I am for equality. I am for equality. All the money that you made off this movie needs to be donated to both Black history, truth, historical stuff, Black history museums, Black history, Black Lives Matter, black stuff. But that's twice as much of the money you made from this movie, because all the money you made needs to be doubled. Half of it needs to go to the Black community, and half of it needs to go to the white Southern heritage community. If you don't do that, you're a hypocrite, because you made money off of... You know who you really made money off of. White people that white people is who you made money off of. You made money off of white people who wondered what this movie was about, and you really made a lot of money off of rednecks, Southern folks, people who actually would have bought this movie, because I don't know that many Black people would have actually bought this movie. Honestly, you made money off of the white people, and we demand it back, so donate it back. But because I'm all for equality, double that money and also donate it to Black causes and Black stuff. Yep, you heard me. Donate. I want to hear history, true, accurate history from both the Southern heritage side and the Black side. If you have to go all the way back to, I don't know, Africa, and find out that the tribal chiefs were the ones who enslaved other blacks and then sold them to the British. Matter of fact, if you go all the way back to the medieval times, they had slavery. If you go back even further than that, to the days of antiquity, guess what? They had slaves then. Every race, with no exception, has been enslaved by their own race and by other races. So, you blacks, you're not special when it comes to slavery. It's all been done before by everybody. Every race. You're not special. You need to get over it, move on, live for the future. Stop being racist and hating the white man just because the white man was the latest to enslave you. Actually, which is not actually true. The Arab man is the latest and is the current one that still enslaves you. And the one that really still enslaves you is the Democrat Party, by slaving you to thinking what they want you to think, what they want you to believe, and not thinking for yourself, and not thinking, having you think their way. And this little side note, Karl Marx hated black folks. So why are y'all wanting to be Marxists? Black Lives Matter people? Why? Communism was created by white people. So why would you want to take on a white person's ideology? And socialism also, and it failed. Oh, and by the way, Nazism, it's just another form of communism, socialism, and Marxism. Just ran by Hitler, though, who was a racist too. He wanted to exterminate the Jews. At least that's what the narrative says. Anyway, think about it. I dare y'all to think about it. And I do dare y'all to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel, of course. Share this video. And think for yourself. Be independent. Conservatives, quit being rhinos. And quit catering and falling for these groups. Have some cojones and balls and stand up for the truth. Politicians, you need to stand up for the truth even more. Because you are politicians. You are the people who are. You are the people who are supposed to be the examples. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Y'all need to stand up for truth. And not mob mentality and mob rule. You stand up for law. You need to stand up for justice. And you need to stand up for order. That's what we the people vote for you for. If you don't, we need to quit voting for you. That's why we need term limits. 2 and you're through. Peace out. Later. God's good all the time. All the time God's good. Jesus loves you. Jesus is God. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And of course, remember, Spike Lee, hypocrite. That's... I call you out. I call you out. Black Lives Matter. If Black Lives really matter, teach true black history. Not revisionist black history. Like that there were even black people that fought, free blacks fought in the Civil War on the Confederate side. The blacks who fought for the northern side, they fought to earn their freedom. Interesting. Think about that. Think about it. Just some true black history and true Confederate history. Not the stuff that is revisionist, please. Just please start teaching the truth. Start teaching the truth. That's all it needs to be doing. History needs to be taught the way it really was, not the way you think it was. I challenge y'all to research this stuff, find out for yourself, use alternative research insights. Matter of fact, the older the textbook is, the closer it is to the time of something. If you want to research the war of Northern aggression or Civil War, or whatever you want to call it, you need to get newspaper articles from both the North and the South, and textbooks of before it happened, during it happening, and after it happened, newspapers, accounts, written documents from the time. It is actually one of the most researched thing here in the United States. That and, of course, the American Revolution. So if you really want it, the documents are out there. The historical truths, facts, and documentations are out there. Just get it. The closer you get it to the time period of the historical the event actually happening, the more likely the historical the more accuracy of and likeliness of the accuracy of the historicalness being true. Just going to throw that out there. Anyway, laters. Have a great day. And yeah, by the way, still calling you out, Spike Lee. Still calling you out. Spike Lee's a hypocrite. He must be one of those do as I say, not as I do liberals. Hypocrisy from the liberal left Democrats. Hashtag walk away.